Hello, my name is Kurt Beavers, and I am so glad you have joined us today and are taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule. I'm joined today by my good friend, Steve Yastro, and we are in different parts of the country. I'm in Georgia, and he is up in the Chicago area. But we've got something exciting to share with you guys, and we think it's going to be an impactful thing. It's going to change your business over the last quarter of this year.
Hey, Kurt, nice to see you. And I'm so glad we are here to make an impact on people's business. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's super exciting. You know, Steve, this is something that I did in my business many years ago when I realized that you don't always need to go after the results. Sometimes it's important to go after the activity that creates the results. So we're going to lay out a plan for you guys and hold you accountable to have at least 100 conversations over the last quarter of this year. And we think it's going to change your business forever.
Great. That's what I want to talk about is when you have conversations, conversations are the key driver, like the lifeblood of your business. And so the whole idea is just talk to people. I mean, Kurt, I've asked you this before, what was one of the secrets to you creating such a successful Juice Plus business? And you did what?
We had conversations. We planted seeds. We talked to people.
You've used that planting seeds metaphor with me before. I love it. It's like you plant enough seeds, you're going to get enough trees to grow. Not every seed germinates, right?
Yeah. Well, I was actually on my tractor this morning and I was going to throw you a curveball and thought about wearing my overalls to film this video because I was out putting seeds out for our winter crop for our deer. And it's such a parallel to what we're talking about today. You've got to sow the seeds in order to have your intended harvest. You can't just dream about the harvest. You got to sow the seeds. And that's what our conversations are.
Hey, if all of you want to see a picture of, you want to see Kurt Donna's overalls sometime, put a note in the chat. And I'm sure he'll comply with that. You got to sow the seeds, right? I mean, another thing you said to me once is people think if they need to find 10 customers, they need to talk to 11 people. No, talk to 100 people. And then what happens is you don't have the pressure in every one conversation to make that be successful. You might find out they shouldn't be a customer or team member, or maybe they just become a friend, or maybe they are a great prospect for you.
Well, Steve, I think we live in a society where everybody wants immediate gratification. And one of the interesting things about this is, and I'm so glad we're doing this over a 3-month period of time, when you plant seeds, you don't see immediate results. It takes a little bit of time for the water and the soil and all the nutrients to make that seed burst open. And what we're talking about here is you're not going to see tomorrow the fruit in your business of conversations you have today. You're loading up that conversation pipeline. So down the road, when you start month 4, you're not starting a month with 0 conversations ongoing. You're starting that month with 50, 60, 70, 80 conversations already in incubation stage.
Kurt, that is such an important point. Can you just dig into that a little deeper? You've said so many brilliant things to me as we've gotten to know each other, but like you've said, if you want to have, you have a bunch of conversations in September, then that's helping you create a pipeline. So you have customers and team members coming up in October, November, December, and you have conversation in October so you start building up momentum. So you don't start each month from scratch. You've already got momentum building from conversations and relationships you've been building. Yeah, that's the key, isn't it?
Totally. I mean, I know there's one physician that we recruited. It took me 7 years of conversations to recruit him.
Oh.
And it was a journey, but we became friends. We built a relationship. We established trust. And I didn't give up because it didn't happen overnight. But sometimes we do. We live in that instant gratification and we just feel like we're a failure when it doesn't happen. If you're going to build a huge business, you've got to have seeds that are going to come to harvest 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 6 months from now. They all don't happen at one time. Because I tell people planting seeds is like dating. If you propose on the first date, you're going to scare everybody off. If you expect that plant to explode out of the ground on the first day, you've created some kind of miracle or something.
Yeah, whenever I've heard stories from Juice Plus partners about the time they met somebody and they became a customer or team member the day they met them, it's a wonderful story. But then the next question is, so how often does that happen? It's very infrequent. Yeah. Virtually all of your most loyal customers and most committed team members, you built your relationship with them through a series of conversations, and that's fine.
Yep.
So why don't we talk a little bit about 100 Conversations Challenge that we're launching today. And then Kurt and I will talk a little bit more later, but we want to actually give you a chance to learn about what we're doing here and to actually, you can sign up now, you can sign up later for the challenge. So let's look at it now. And so the 100 Conversations Challenge. So Kurt, when's it running?
So it is for the fourth quarter of 2021, and that starts today. Today is October 1st. So the challenge actually starts today, and it's going to run through the end of the year. And so you've got 3 full months, and we're expecting many of you to do 100 conversations per month. So if you bring on a new team member in November, they can jump in and start wherever they want to. So you don't have to start on day 1 to participate in this. You can jump in whenever you want to. And we hope you have hundreds of conversations, not just 100. But we wanted to give everybody a finish line that we feel like all of you can hit.
I was talking with one partner who said she's certain she's going to get 750. We can definitely do it, but 100 is the first goal. Great.
Yeah, and Steve, let me say one thing. Don't be intimidated by 100 conversations. That's not 100 sales. That's not 100 recruits. That's you starting a conversation with a person. And you might not even mention Juice Plus in your first conversation. It might be a reacquainting, reconnecting. So we're giving you the activity. They're going to produce the results. So there's no intimidation to do this activity because there's no expected outcome. Just do the activity.
That's wonderful. And we'll talk in a few minutes about how to get the confidence, just go out and have a lot of conversations. Great. Excellent. So how do you play? How do you play in this challenge? What do you do? Well, the first thing is you enter, and I'm going to leave this screen up for a couple minutes because I think some people would like to just enter right now, and Kurt and I will talk. There's a link at the bottom there. Now, Kim Rule, who many of you met, who works with me at Yastro & Company, is going to drop this link into the chat right now. You can also take your phone and just scan that QR code. I'll leave it up for a minute. And you can enter later. We're going to put this on the Facebook page. We can email it to you. But if you want to enter right now, go ahead and do this.
And you do have to enter. I mean, there's no tricks. It's just a simple form. But we've got to email you the PDF we're going to show you in a minute. And you're going to get an FAQ sheet and everything. So you do need to enter in order to be included in this challenge and participate, because you're going to need that PDF document to log your conversations, which is what you're going to provide to say, I have 100, I want to be included as a winner, So as the screen's up here, just go ahead and register. All that's going to do is allow that PDF email to be delivered to you with the frequently asked questions document.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. So I'll come back to this in a second. What you see when you hit the link of the QR code, you're going to see a very simple form. It'll come up in a Google form right there you can fill out. Let me go back here for a moment. And I'll put this up again later. So if you want to come back to it later, again, we'll put it on our Juice Plus Ditch the Pitch Facebook group. It'll be on Juice Plus Insights. You'll get it by email. Lots of ways to sign up for the challenge. Okay, great. So let me assume that if you're going to do it now, you've already grabbed that QR code. When you do that, you're going to see this little form here, and maybe you're filling it out now, or you can fill it out later. Really simple, just ask you for a little bit of information. And as Kurt mentioned, you're going to get by email, so you're putting your email in there, you're going to get this 100 Conversations log. Check your email after you sign up. And again, I'll put the QR code up again later. And all you do is download this 100 Conversations log. You can print it out. And on the back of it, you're going to see some FAQs. Kurt and I will try to answer these questions together today, but you'll get the FAQs. They'll come right with this 100 Conversations log, which will be automatically emailed to you when you enter the challenge.
Hey,
now,
Steve, hold that screen right there for a second, please, because let me tell you how simple this is. Now,
please.
All of us, I guess we're maybe more and more trying to live in a digital world, but the easiest way for you to do this, you could have it on your iPad and use your Apple Pencil and fill it out or whatever, but the easiest way is going to be to print it, because the way you're going to turn this in is you're actually going to take a picture of it with your phone and send it into the email address we're going to provide for you. That's how we're going to hold you accountable to make sure you did your 100 conversations. So I think personally, even though I've got my iPad with my Apple Pencil, I think printing this out and filling it out with paper and then just taking a picture is going to be the easiest way to do it.
Thanks for saying that, Kurt. We want to make it so easy for you. Just Easy, easy, easy. Print this out, carry it with you, write down who you talk to and when. It's all you got to do. We gave you a little space for conversation notes there. That's for you. All we want to see is the date and the name. And of course, it's the honor system. Why? Because you know what? You're doing this to improve your business. Yeah, we're going to share some prizes with you in a minute, but this is all for the good of growing your business. Great. So you're going to see there's the FAQs I mentioned. And then all you do is you write down, like we said, you document your 100 conversations on this log, and then you email the completed form. You can take a picture in your phone, you can scan it, and you send it to this email address here. Don't worry about writing this email address here down now, because it's going to be right there in the FAQs for you, making it really simple. We'll put it all over the Facebook group.
And you can, this journey, we're all going to be together on the Facebook page too. So there'll be information coming to you via email, and we're going to share these conversations, and we're going to have this whole community doing this together on our Facebook page.
Great, excellent. By the way, we're getting some questions in the Q&A box. Invite anybody to put it there. Debbie Blair asked us, are these new people conversations or people in our pipeline we've talked to before? Of course, can be people in your pipeline. You know, like if you had some great conversations over the last few months with somebody or somebody you've known for a while, go have a great conversation with them now that'll move them forward.
Dig deeper. Yeah, for sure. Dig deeper with all those conversations. Let's have common sense though. Let's say, you know, you're trying to get new customers and new partners. So you're not, these are not conversations where you're helping a partner figure out where to send a form. These are not existing partners where you're just managing or training. Like for example, and I know this sounds redundant or silly, but if your mom's one of your partners and you automatically talk to your mom every day, that shouldn't count, okay?
And hold yourself accountable not to count that, because this is to help you grow your skills and build your business, right? That's a great point.
I mean, just think logically. I want to have 100 new conversations, and it could be a next step conversation with a customer prospect or a partner prospect. But the goal of this is to grow your business, not to put you in management mode.
Totally. Good point. So let's talk about a couple ways to do this. Now, the 100 Conversation Challenge is in partnership with Ditch the Pitch. As I think most of you know, Ditch the Pitch is a new Juice Plus program. I wrote a book called Ditch the Pitch. It's how I met so many of you, which has been so much fun for me over the past little more than a year. And what we are recommending, you don't have to enroll in Juice Plus's Ditch the Pitch program to do the challenge, but it will help you. So Kurt, why don't you share, because you've been involved in Ditch the Pitch, would you share some of the reasons why it would be good for somebody to enroll in Ditch the Pitch while they're doing this? And I'll share a little information on what Ditch the Pitch is.
I should be doing this with my overalls and a pitchfork.
There you go.
No, but Ditch the Pitch, you know, I think we all know we need to talk to people. I think we all know that conversations is what builds our business. But a lot of us are not comfortable to do an activity unless we feel like we're skilled and equipped to do it. Our confidence goes up so dramatically when you feel like you're good at something. And what Steve has brought to the table is this amazing course that teaches us how to have conversations. Even one of the most important things you can learn is don't feel like if you're going to have one of these conversations that the first word out of your mouth needs to be Juice Plus. It's natural that if you haven't talked to somebody in a while, you need to reconnect. And Steve teaches you that. He teaches you how to size up the scene, how to focus on them and not focus on yourself. There's so many skills to be learned. They're simple. Some of them seem logical, but if you don't apply them to your conversations, you're not going to have as effective a conversation as you would if you were skilled in doing that.
Thanks, Kurt. That's a great description. You know, it's like, I mean, of the people watching this today, I mean, have you ever wanted to be on the receiving end of a sales pitch? Of course not. We hate when we're pitched. So let's don't do it. What we want to do is ditch the pitch and have natural conversations. Think about it. If every one of these 100 conversations or 500, whatever you have, if every one of those conversations, you are making it about the other person, engaging that person where they want to speak with you, not just cramming information at them, but finding out what will interest them about Juice Plus, then these conversations are going to build your business. So let's take just about a few minutes to give you a quick overview of how you do enroll in Ditch the Pitch if you decide to do this. And by the way, there'll be a lot of information on Ditch the Pitch at conference coming up. I'll be doing a main stage talk with EMD Rhonda Hubbard on this. We'll give you more information. We'll share the Juice Plus Ditch the Pitch Facebook group with you in a minute. But I want to share with you how you would go about doing this.
Hey, Steve, don't forget, I'm not gonna spoil it, but don't forget to share the exciting news when you explain this.
We do have exciting news, and I was all ready to share it, Kurt. Maybe we can share it together in a moment. But the good news is that as of today, brand new, Juice Plus has decided to open up Ditch the Pitch to all Juice Plus partners. Up until today, you had to be a QSC or above to enroll in Ditch the Pitch. And the decision was just made to open it up to all partners, coincident with the 100 Conversations Challenge. So every one of you can now go to your myjuiceplus.com page, which you see here. There's a resources button, which has this new wonderful thing called the Juice Plus Hub. You're going to also learn a lot about the Juice Plus Hub at conference. It's going to be the new place where all Juice Plus learning happens. When you click this Juice Plus Hub button, you'll go to the hub, which looks like this, lots of information. Very soon, Juice Plus Insights, Freedom Revolution will be there. It'll be your place to go. And one of the things you can do there is you can enroll and ditch the pitch. When you click the enroll button and enroll, it's very simple. You'll accept some terms and conditions. The company also made a decision today to reduce the price for Ditch the Pitch to only $100 between now and conference, which I think is wonderful. And what you get is you're seeing now some modules that are really a treasure trove of videos and downloadable tools that help you learn to have really productive conversations. There's instructional videos with me teaching, but also I did a ton of videos where I'm interviewing successful Juice Plus partners about how to have conversations that build your business. So invite you, go to your myjuiceplus.com page, click this Juice Plus Hub button, go to the hub, enroll and ditch the pitch. And again, what this is going to enable you to do is just take these conversations you have and make them that much more productive.
Hey, Steve, somebody just asked in the chat, once they enroll in the Ditch the Pitch, they have access to that forever, right? It's not going to be taken away from them, right?
Yeah, the company is currently doing it as a six-month enrollment. You can go to it anytime, but it will be there forever. And we're figuring out ways to extend that beyond 6 months now. So the point is, yes, you have access to this information as a resource for you. It's not like you have to just go through the course and you're done. You've got at least the 6-month access, and we're now talking about how we can extend that longer for you. Look at it as a resource. You're about to have a conversation. You can go watch one of the videos to review a particular skill that you'll learn in Ditch the Pitch to help you with that conversation.
And guys, I'm sorry, when you're talking, it's hard for Steve and I to get to all the chat things. I know Kim's trying to answer some of those in the background. And maybe at the end, we can stop the recording and try, and if you want to stay on, try and answer a few more questions.
Yes, and another thing we could do, Kurt, in addition to that, is we could also, we'll stay on, but if you have any questions for us, the Juice Plus Ditch the Pitch Facebook page will also be a place that we can answer questions to. Kim, I'm going to ask you, would you pop the link for the Facebook page, which I'm putting up here now? Those of you, there's about 2,400 Juice Plus partners who are members of this private Facebook page, Juice Plus Ditch the Pitch. Kim will pop the link in the chat now. Invite you all to enroll here for a couple reasons. Not only can Kurt and I answer questions about the 100 Conversations Challenge here, Kurt, why don't you talk a little bit about how we want people to share their conversations on the Juice Plus Ditch the Pitch Facebook page?
So, we want to hold you guys accountable. We all need accountability to make sure you legitimately get your 100 conversations. So one of the main way is going to be that PDF, but we want to build community and encourage each other and let each of us see what's going on. When you see somebody doing something successful, it inspires you to go do the same thing. So as you have these conversations, you don't have to create this dramatic post with a new graphic from Canva and all these exciting things that we know you're talented, you can do. We just want you to share there. I had an amazing conversation today with my son's piano teacher. I had no idea they have been going through some health things in their family, and they're so excited about finding out more about Juice Plus. Just drop that in there. How many other of the thousands of people that are participating, how many other people have a child taking piano lessons? It just spurred them on to the exact same thing. So I would really encourage you, and we want to see the the realness of your conversations be conveyed in our Facebook group, because that's how we're going to like bring life to what's happening on your PDF.
What I love about that, Kurt, I've in my career and the 25 years I've had my company, I've worked with lots of different organizations, lots of different companies. What's so special about Juice Plus is the community of Juice Plus and how people work together and collaborate in this network. Let's use that community by sharing your successes with your conversations or your questions, and inspire everybody and learn from everybody. Use the Juice Plus Ditch the Pitch Facebook group as a place to talk about what you're seeing and learning. And I'm there every day. I'll answer questions, and you can answer questions for each other, and you can make posts. It's a wonderful idea.
Just think about as leaders and as people that are building teams, think about all the contests and things you rally and come to do together. Well, this whole 100 conversations thing is going to fuel the front end of all this momentum you want to create for the end of the year. I mean, anything you're doing as a contest with your team, as a social media challenge or whatever, none of that's going to happen without conversations and people to begin the process.
That's wonderful. Great. Excellent. Excellent. And we'll share a few more tips in a couple minutes before we sign off. Now, let me tell you what Kurt and I tell you about some of the prizes that you're going to be able to enjoy by doing the 100 Conversations Challenge. The biggest benefits, really your biggest prize, is that you're going to grow your business and develop skills. Let's remember that. Yes, we're going to show some prizes here, but the real benefit is just doing this and having the activity, and getting better at conversations, getting more skillful at it, and just earning, recruiting new team members and customers because you're having conversations.
And like we talked about earlier, just filling your pipeline so you start a month with, gold in your mind. You start the month out with not at zero, but you're starting way deep into the process with a lot of people.
I love that. You might have a conversation tomorrow that is going to make you very happy next January 17th because that relationship blossoms then. Yeah, that's great. So the biggest benefit is what you do for yourself.
Yep.
Additionally, we're going to have a limited edition Ditch the Pitch journal for the first 250 players to submit their 100 Conversations log. I'll show you that in a moment. It's a nice little journal that Juice Plus Promotions is creating. Also, the person who has the most conversations, the company has generously offered $500 for the person who, I got to tell you, I want to see somebody hit 1,000. It's possible, isn't it? You got 90 days, have conversations, just go for it. And then also, we hope you will see results if you have the activity, $1,000 cash prize for the person who signs on the most new customers during Q4. You just got to be enrolled or sign up for the 100 Conversations Challenge. You're in the challenge. The company will run a report of all the people in the challenge, who had the most new customers, who had the most new partners, $1,000. And here's a picture of this limited edition journal that you'll get. The first 250 people will get. It's kind of cute, isn't it?
I mean, everybody uses journals, and this is going to be a nice one, and it's going to show that you're committed to creating the activity to get the results that we want to have.
What's interesting is, as digital as I am, and I'm taking notes on my computer, I always keep a notebook, and I like to write down like what happens in conversations. Sometimes it's easier to be handwriting it, things I want to refer back to with that person. Okay, so let's do this. Kurt and I will talk a little bit more about some tips, but I'm going to put the QR code back up on the screen. And Kim, would you please drop the link for the entry form back into the chat? Again, we'll put this on the Facebook page. It's be emailed to you. Juice Plus Insights, lots of places to find it. But if you want to do it now, you can scan the QR code or click the link. And while people have a chance to do this, let's just think of some more tips. So, Kurt,
one of the things, Steve, is we do live in that digital world like you talked about, and I think people are asking, and it's going to come up: does a text message count as a conversation? You're the conversation expert. You and I talked about this. Why don't you kind of share with them what we decided and explain why? Sure.
Although text messages and emails are important to advancing your relationships, these 100 conversations, to be truly beneficial to your business, we want you to only document conversations that are either in person, on the phone, or on a format like a Zoom or a Skype, FaceTime, whatever. Make sure you are live, interacting in the moment with that person.
You might
Yes,
use text. You might use text messaging to set up the conversation, but you have to have the real conversation.
Exactly. The text message could set up the conversation, could be a follow-up. Hey, it was great to see you today. I love that you told me this. I'll get back to you on that. That's not a new conversation, and it's important to do, but we want you to document only in the moment, interactive conversations that could be in person, could be on the phone, could be on a format like Zoom or FaceTime or Skype. It's much, much better to do that way for you, because remember, what are the biggest benefits here? Sure, we're going to send you a journal. There's a few cash prizes. The biggest benefit is that you develop skills and grow your business. That's the biggest benefit. And so make sure that you're focused on those kind of conversations that are most likely to do that.
You know, there's an analogy, an old parable about the farmer planting the seeds. And I want you all to grasp this, because if you sow enough seeds, the harvest is coming. It's not an if, it's just a when. Because you're going to sow a lot of seeds, and some are going to end up in rocky soil, bad soil, soil with that the weeds choke out. But some of your seeds are going to end up in good soil. So it's just a matter of sowing enough seeds, and the harvest you want from your business is not an if, it's just a when.
I love that analogy so much. It's kind of like I realized in the years I was building my business that if ever there was a real easy way to fix my sales problem. If I ever had a sales problem one month, go out and sell. Meaning go out and talk to people, go out and fill my pipeline, have conversations. You know, it's like just the more conversations I had, the more people I got going through my conversation pipeline, they eventually, enough of them turned into clients to give me a successful business. Kurt, when you think back to the days, what, about 30 years ago, how many years you've been doing Juice Plus?
34.
34. When you were first getting started, what were some of the sort of the challenges you saw in having conversations, and how did you overcome those challenges? You got really comfortable and confident having lots of conversations with people.
Yeah, I tell people, I think my wife and I, Lori, we were naive enough, and we had seen this business as a solution in our life to what we really wanted to make that life we wanted to make for our family. So she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and be at home quickly. So we wanted that so badly. We just said, how do we do this? And we listened to people. And one of the things we got before Ditch the Pitch was around and early in our business was, make a list of 300 names and start talking to those people. And we didn't know any better, so we did, and so we talked to lots and lots and lots of people. We didn't have Zoom, didn't have cell phones, or the cell phones, you couldn't afford them back then because they would charge you $1 a minute to talk on them. But we were knocking on people's doors, going to coffee shops, meeting with people. And, our success today was literally a factor of how many people we talked to.
Let's all remember what Kurt just said. His and Lori's success was a factor of how many people they talked to. Have lots of conversations. Conversations are the oxygen, the lifeblood of your business. And you just have more conversations. That's what this is all about. That's wonderful. That's a great way to look at it. That's what we want to be doing here. Having lots of conversations.
Somebody asked in the chat, please don't think that it's $100 to participate in the challenge. The challenge is free. You register and it's free. Please. The amazing golden rich content of the Ditch the Pitch course, if you decide to enroll, your cost is only $100, and the company is subsidizing the rest of the cost of that because it's way more expensive than that.
Thanks for pointing out the 100 Conversations Challenge, though, no charge. All you do is go to the link we've given you in that QR code. Everybody can go in the 100 Conversations Challenge and start having conversations. That only fee is if you decide to enroll and Ditch the Pitch and get that value to help you have better conversations. Wonderful point. There was a question in the Q&A about, so Facebook Messenger voice messages don't count. And I think it was Michelle, you said you do a lot of business that way. Great, keep doing those messenger calls, but remember, the purpose of those is really to advance the dialogues you can get to have that live conversation with somebody. Focus for this challenge on having live, interactive, in the moment conversations. And one of the things that strikes me with that is Kurt was saying that he and Lori just went out and talked to a lot of people. I know many of you do this. Some of you have heard me say this before. I love this idea that by about 200,000 years ago, human beings had developed fully formed language. It's so cool. We've had a couple 100,000 years of practice, and we evolved it before that for hundreds of thousands of years. Conversation is one of the most natural things that makes us human. And one of the reasons we develop is it helps us be social and get to know each other and collaborate with each other. If you use conversation as a way to get to know people, think of the treasures you're going to discover in just getting to know people. Our good friend Steve Shapiro at Juice Plus coined the phrase one point. He said, curiosity is our superpower. How cool is that? These conversations give you the opportunity to be curious about people, get to know people, learn about them. That in and of itself is a rich human experience, and it's going to build your business.
I mean, you know, there are facts that we hear in our business and statements that just make sense. One of them I know you've heard before that our great Dr. Richard Du Bois said was, there's no product, prescription or over the counter, that's proven to do what Juice Plus does with all of our research. I mean, we embrace that. Let me give you another one about your business. There's no problem in your Juice Plus business that talking to more people won't solve.
I love that, right?
And that you can take that home, you can take that to the bank. And it's this challenge in something like this that's just helping you have the initiative to go do what we know works. It's not an if. If you do it, it works. 100% guaranteed.
Have more conversations. Have more conversations. And in Ditch the Pitch, we call it the plus conversation. You know, related to Juice Plus, it's a conversation that matters to the other person. Have conversations with those other people are saying, I'm so glad I'm in this conversation with you. I want to share with you. Think about having meaningful conversations. Wonderful, Kurt. Any last tips you want to leave for people before we let them go off and start having their...
I think don't be intimidated. This is going to be easy. It's doing what you normally do, talking to people. You need to log it in and do more of what you're already doing. And let's intensify during the fourth quarter. The community conversations and questions can all be had on the Facebook page, and Kim put the link in there so you can join that, you know, as soon as you want to. And then you're going to get everything via email and FAQs. So I'm excited because we've done this before. I saw Carolyn Russ in the chat. When we did this before, way less organized, but she won, and it impacted her business. And she even said that in here when we did the 100 conversations before. So we know this works. We're super excited to be doing this company-wide in partnership with Steve. And thank you, Sean, and our home office for helping provide some amazing prizes. And I just can't wait to see where we're going to be a month from now, 90 days from now, because I know this works because we've done it before.
Can I clarify one thing? Somebody just said in the Q&A about, only face-to-face conversations. What we said is just interactive in the moment conversations. Those could be on the phone. Right? Because somebody said about out of state, on the phone, Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, and of course in person. Just make sure that
anything where it's a two-way conversation. We just don't want you to be filming yourself, sending it to somebody, recording an audio, sending it to somebody. We want you to have a conversation. And by definition, conversation is two-way. It's going on simultaneously back and forth.
Yes, you're right. And even though you could text messages, in the moment conversation is the richest. And we want you to focus on those because those are the conversations that will have the biggest impact on building your business. So I want to thank everybody. If anybody has any questions, the Facebook page is a great place to ask me questions. I don't know if I can handle them all, but try to DM me. I'll get back to you if I can. We want to help you build your business. There'll be a lot more coming up in October. Those of you who are in Ditch the Pitch, I've got a wonderful live stream next Thursday with Guy DeBoo and Mary Ellen Moen. It's going to be great. 2 weeks from then, we're going to do a how to use Ditch the Pitch. I'll be at conference doing a main stage presentation with Rhonda Hubbard, as I mentioned. Kurt and I will be doing a number of Facebook Lives. We are here to help you build your business one conversation at a time. And if those one conversations add up to hundreds of conversations, as Kurt said many times, you're going to see the results because you had the activity.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. It was great.
Yeah, thanks to work. It was always great to work with you, Kurt. Thanks to everybody else. And can't wait to talk to you all more and hey, get to meet a bunch of you in St. Louis soon. That's going to be great. Talk to you all soon. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Start having those conversations. Bye-bye.